And I believe we're live.
We're live.
Happy Taco Tuesday, everybody. It's a Tuesday night edition. We have to go tonight because I fouled things up. I have accepted a dinner invitation to a friend's house tomorrow night. So,
do you believe that? The nerve.
I know, how dare I have a life outside of you two? What the hell's wrong with me? So, I obviously I'm going to honor that. So, Anthony was gracious enough to come on tonight with me.
Yeah.
Hello again.
So don't be startled if you hear little Reaper screaming outside. His mama's home, but he still doesn't prevent him from throwing temper tantrums.
Let's see if I can get the chat up here or the video up. Okay, there it goes. All right. DS Comics is here already. Hello.
Hey.
Warren. Joker. Hey, how are you doing, bud?
Got some good people here already.
Yeah. TJ Slab Dragon Watson. That's a long one. That needs some explanation, TJ. There's Todd Hobeck again.
Oh, I know who TJ is. He is the Slab Dragon.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's got tons and tons and tons of high-grade slabs.
Well, excellent.
I know who you are.
People on already. I guess everyone sent off in the chat. I didn't do it till later, but were you able to see the promo thing that I did that let you know that this was going to happen?
Yeah, we didn't know until like 2 hours ago that we were actually going to come on tonight. Originally, I couldn't come on, and we were going to do it on Thursday and all that stuff, but last minute,
Mrs. Notable at the line. Blue 42, Blue 42.
And as it turned out, I could come on tonight, and that brings us here right now.
I see Silver Age Dave just jumped in. Gorilla Todd. So we got 14 on so far.
That's good. That's good enough.
Tonight's unofficial sponsor for me is going to be Yingling, North America's oldest brewery, actually. So
the sponsor for me tonight.
This actually is close to Dr. Von Chilla.
Is going to be the old Sega Saturn.
Oh.
It's been dead for 21 years, but I think it's going to make a comeback.
You're holding out hope?
Yeah.
Now this is a nice, dark American lager.
Whoa,
Isn't it nice?
That's a big glass. Yeah. Are you planning to get drunk tonight?
I am.
All right.
I'm home alone, other than animals. My wife had something to do with 7. All my kids are back at college. My son went back today, so I'm empty nest again. So I can stay on as late as I like tonight, I guess, and we'll do some chatting.
All right.
We got more on. 15. Christopher Joy, is it? I'm sorry, my visions. I can't read things close up.
Yeah, everybody. I should
put these on. I can see okay. I can read perfect. Yeah, Christopher Joy.
That's why I just keep mine on now.
These are bifocals, so I got this weird line thing going on, so I have to tilt my head back and forth like an old guy. So I
used to have bifocals. I stopped getting them about 15 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I haven't acquiesced to wearing those yet. I'm not going to succumb to it till I absolutely can't see.
So, Patrick, you got to drink the whole thing, like now.
I was thinking about it.
So
anyway, I had burritos, even though it's Taco Tuesday. I made burritos tonight, homemade guacamole, and all that kind of stuff.
So don't get offended by his breath.
No, yeah, you can smell the garlic even through the screen.
Yeah, it's gonna make you popular at your friends' circles.
Well, that's the beauty of being home alone. I can eat as much garlic as I like, and I'm not wearing pants.
He's keeping the chair warm for us.
Oh. It'll be like Batman Damned, right? The Luther Manning edition.
Oh, man. Luther Damned.
Yeah, Luther Damned. So anyway.
Is that still popular? Batman Damned 1, Is that still people going nuts over that?
I know for a while that prices were jumping up on it. And I remember Sleepy Reader said something made me laugh. I spit coffee out, and he was talking. He's like, has anyone read the new Batman thing where Batman shows his wee wee? And I spit coffee all over my computer at work because I was watching his video in the morning. And
you're probably like, oh, come on, get real. And then you're like, no, that's
no,
really
it was the use of the word wee wee that made me laugh. I wasn't expecting it because Damien's always so serious when he's doing his things, and then the word wee wee just didn't fit within what he normally does.
sort of like Masterpiece Theater, and all of a sudden the guy says something.
All of a sudden the guy says, "Pull my finger." It's just you're not expecting it. So. Scott Johnson, hello.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah. I don't know, Scott. Cue us in too. I think you grabbed all your Grails and Holy Grails. I don't know if are you still chasing books? I don't. If you are, let us know what you're chasing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've been able to lift your head because I know you're doing a bunch of artwork for Marvel these days, and they got a whole bunch of stuff coming out with the movie. So I'm sure you got deadlines coming up. So.
Yeah, he's busy.
Yeah. So anyway, did you buy anything this week?
Yeah, I did. I got a couple of things. I got my very first Atlas book. I saw it on Instagram. I didn't buy it off Instagram, but Howard's Rare Comics picked up a copy, and I'm looking at the cover. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And I went looking for it. I got myself a very good copy, and it's great, and it was affordable. So I got my very first Atlas book.
It was timely. Then it went to Atlas, and then the Marvel.
Yeah.
There was nothing in between. It was just those three, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why they actually changed their names. Perhaps we could save that question for maybe a discussion next week when it comes to Golden Age and Pre-Code and all that.
Yeah. I got some people in mind who would probably know the exact answer.
Better than I would. But I bought another good. I actually got.
Hello, Maurice.
I got a top 10 book.
Oh.
This week. Well, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to see. Actually, it's my third top 10 book. But everyone's going to get a chance to see these in the next couple of months when I do the haul videos. Yeah. So that's what I got.
Now, I guess that kind of brings me up to my next thought, and I don't know if I'm jumping out of order here because I know we talked about some things we want to do, but I know that you also do an Instagram thing, and oftentimes you'll put, and I think this is common, you'll put stuff on Instagram long before it shows up on YouTube.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm not hip to that stuff. I know what Instagram is, and obviously I don't use it. YouTube is my only.
I didn't know what Instagram was until TiVo told me about it a couple years ago. Yeah. I forget why I was talking to him. I was asking about a book or something. He says, yeah, you could check it out on IG. And I send him a message. What's IG?
Yeah.
He's like, Instagram.
Well, I had daughters in my house, 3 of them. So I knew all of that stuff.
You have 4 kids, right?
Yeah, 4. Yeah, my son and he was born first and I had 3 daughters. So I kind of understand all that stuff. And what's funny though, when you do talk about the millennial kids, they like to tease people it's my age, and I don't know if they realize it, but all of this good technology was created by people that are my age.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I sell technology, for a living is what I do. I don't partake in social media, Facebook, all that. I don't like it. I prefer to talk to people face to face if I can, or on the phone, or I love FaceTime. So. That's why this medium for me.
There you go. There's some technology for you.
Well, I really am starting to be drawn more towards doing live than recording and having to edit and all that kind of stuff. And it's more polished when you do editing and things like that. You can add music and little clips and things like that. And it's nice to have pictures and things like that, green screening, of course. But to me, this is just a little bit more personal, and I think it's easier to talk about the hobby this way. So, but anyway, so how often do you post on Instagram? Or
I post a couple times a week. I know this week I've been pretty active. I've been posting some of my PlayStation games and stuff like that. But you're absolutely right. What you said earlier about I'll post something on Instagram way before you see it in the comic book haul.
Oh,
I do
okay.
comic book calls every 2 months, every other month.
Hmm.
How long I'm going to be able to keep that up, because I'm not buying as much anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this for 5 years now on YouTube, and it might dwindle down a bit, but I'll post some things that I recently purchased on Instagram before you see it on YouTube, and I did that with with one book already. That's off of my top 10 list. So you'll see that in the next comic book call in a couple of weeks.
All right. All right. I see Alex, the comic hoarder, jumped in. Welcome. Thanks for showing up, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
I realized today, it was funny. I was telling Anthony earlier, I wasn't subscribed to Alex. I don't know. I thought maybe I was, and I don't know. Sometimes that happens, I think, where things drop off. But I subbed him today because I saw he had subbed me. So I guess I just thought he stopped making videos because I didn't get his things anymore. So I think that happens. I got to go through mine again because there's a couple other people I noticed I don't seem to get their notifications anymore. So I don't know if do people just fall off if they don't make a video, or I guess I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I gotta double check to see if I'm subscribed to some people. I don't get Knights of Old notices.
Right,
So
I don't either. I got one the other day, but it was just to tell me that he took a video down.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to double check to see if I'm subscribed.
Yeah.
I think I am.
That's on my to-do list tomorrow. I'm going to go through and see who I'm sub to because I thought I was sub to all these people, and a couple that I'm not sub to that I'm on video. So I don't know. But,
no, but you're right. I will post on Instagram some of these things long before. But I kept the Amazing Fantasy away.
I guess what's the reasoning for that? Because you must have common people that watch you on Instagram and on YouTube, right?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I do. I would imagine most.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do it. I just say, hey, what the hell? It's. I guess it's easier to take a picture.
Yeah, that's what people tell me.
Than to sit there, because I still have to release my last Tales from the Crypt video, and it's pretty much done. I just got to capture the footage. But I'm like,
you know what I think it is too for a lot of probably for the newer people or people that are on Instagram a lot. You do get that endorphin rush when you see someone liked your video or someone watched it or whatever. I imagine, because my daughter has an Instagram channel. She's a drummer, so she has her own channel, and she'll post a video, and like the next morning she'll have 2,000 hits already.
Oh, wow.
Like, 2,000. I'm like, I don't know if I've had 2,000 people watch all of my videos.
It's funny you mention it. I just got a notification from Instagram.
Yes.
Steve Boruk liked your video.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he
so like what that video? How long ago did you post it?
This morning.
So how many people have viewed it? Hits? How do they keep track of? What is it called?
Let me see here. I posted a couple of them. Let's see, Steve. This one, I don't get that many though. I've noticed I don't get that many hits, but the one that I think he liked, I got 160 views. So 160 likes or whatever it is. That's about it.
Yeah.
You get them throughout the week though.
Yeah. I know the CGC unboxings that I do with Mike get a lot of views. I think they're around 700 for the latest ones. I looked today at the earlier ones. I think one of them might be over 2,000 views. So
that's great.
The public spoke, and they'd rather see me and Mike open up boxes of CGC than hear me prattle on about comic books and where I bought them.
I think they like it, because it's the way you guys do it. It's like, oh, what grade did we get? Yeah, and it keeps people focused on it.
We are too, and I think that comes through because we really don't look like Mike. We stopped looking once Mike sees it, because you can follow through the CGC is great about posting where things are in the process, and you can see it. And once we see that it's in the queue and it's being graded, we stop looking. We don't want to know from that point on. Because you can see your grades and everything ahead of time, but we don't look anymore. And the way we open the boxes, everything's blind, and we put those little stickies on it, and it's fun. I think it's fun. And the next one we're going to do live. So I think that one's going to be crazy because that tier, I think books have to be between $400 and $1,000 each. So we pulled the box up. So it's going to be
big books.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. The last one was kind of neat. It was an experiment to see how many 9/8 we could get.
Well, I bought one of those books from Mike.
Oh yeah,
that was many months ago. So it's right up there on the wall.
Yeah, I remember it was one of those backroom smoke-filled room deals.
That's right.
You both were wearing trench coats.
That's right.
You
We're
got
looking both sides, making sure
Mike
Nick.
had one pant leg pulled up. I'm holding.
Gotta make sure Nick is not following me. But
Somebody in
yeah.
here said, "Am I going to have a plate?" Not on Taco Tuesday. No plates on Taco Tuesday. He's referring to a place called Nick Tahoe's here in Rochester. So whoever made that comment must have either grew up here or has been here. It's a nightmarish food thing that they do here. But
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I'm sure EC Ed has enjoyed them before too. And Ed, sorry I missed you. If you saw the video, I was in Atlanta for about 5-6 hours on Tuesday. I went down to the Bahamas for a business trip, and then I came back, and I had a 5.5 hour layover in Atlanta. So anyway, really cool to meet up with him. But sooner I'll be making that same trip again. So
well, he got hired recently in Utah.
I know. Yeah, he went up to I think Utah somewhere, right?
So that's quite the change.
Yeah.
From
Hey,
Georgia.
Metarog's here. Hello. He's our expert on all things pricing variant.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, he's also very knowledgeable on toys as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too much about variants or toys that much, so it's
The
always
pricing was
interesting.
fascinating me. When his channel first came on, I was always aware of it, but I think I really only thought about the Star Wars price variants. They're really the only one that I ever noticed. And once I started watching some of his videos and I started looking online, there are segments of people that's all they collect are the 30 cent when it was 25 cent or 35 cent or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I had no idea that happened.
Yeah, but
And
like
it's even weird is why did that happen, I guess, is the other thing. But
I don't know. Weren't they testing them out in like the Texas area to see if some of these would actually fly?
We'll have to ask Metarog someday when we bring him on.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a no faces night or something and bring on the no face guests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I still think they should change their thing. Look, Mom, no faces. I think it's a title. There's Captain Crunch. All right.
So I saw the first 4 episodes of The Punisher.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah.
He's going to be spoiler free on this.
Spoiler free.
Okay.
Absolutely. So far.
Yeah. Can I ask you questions like a real journalist?
Yes, you can.
All right. Production value, since I'm sure they're going to cancel this as soon as this is over.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Production value good on it?
Yeah. From what I've seen so far, yeah, I think it is pretty good. Ask away. Ask a few more questions before
the scar on his face in the promo that I saw for Jigsaw, I wasn't impressed with it. It didn't look like that bad a scar. I mean, if you compare it to the comic book, that guy had an axe to grind. His face was mangled.
Yeah, he's not mangled.
Actually, kind of a cool scar, like the conversation starter. It didn't look that bad.
Well, Jigsaw, he well, like I said, I'm 4 episodes in. I just finished the 4th episode. He would wear at times a mask, a white mask that looked like it was fractured, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But when he takes the mask off, he's got some scars, but it's nothing like, oh my God.
Well, you remember in the comic books, right? How bad he looked in the comics?
Oh yeah, or even in that Punisher Warzone movie.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Nothing at all.
All right.
So, I guess they're trying to keep it, grounded.
All right. Well, okay. Did they bring any of the other Netflix Marvel characters into the series?
I believe
without giving away anything.
Well, I saw one person. I think another person's due to show up.
Yeah, they always kind of make this this romantic tension between him and Karen Page.
Yes, she has yet to show up yet. I didn't see her yet, but I think it's common knowledge that she's in this series.
I didn't see Microchip in any of the previews, so I kind of like that character. I like the show character much better than the one in the comic book.
Yeah. I haven't seen him yet. So I don't know if he's even in this season. I don't know, possibly, but I haven't seen him yet.
Right.
But I'll say, though, the first 3 episodes I really enjoyed, especially the 3rd episode, because it has this claustrophobic feel to it. And that's one of the things that I like about whenever I watch a movie or something like that. I like this claustrophobic feel, like a Night of the Living Dead sort of thing, where people are trapped and you can't go out. And that really gives it a lot of mood. And that was the 3rd episode in, and I really enjoyed that episode
Yeah,
a
the
lot.
first season, I thought one of the scariest scenes in it, and you got that feeling. I remember when I was a kid, when Punisher would show up, you were scared because he would actually kill people. You know, the other characters would beat people up and web them up and whatever. He would kill people. It was the scene where they're on the construction site and he kills those guys and they're playing. What the heck's that guy's name? His comes Get Behind Me. Anyway, it'll come back to me. But it just the music and the whole thing of it, the way they shot it from behind, and he's got the pipe in his hand. It was horrifying. And I mean, he did awful things to those guys.
Well, I think that was the first episode of the first season, and I think when he was working in the construction and and all that stuff, you were just waiting for him to get those guys, and when you knew it was going to happen, you knew it was going to be bad.
Keep pushing, keep pushing.
Yeah, so that's. Right. I think everyone was just waiting for that in the first episode to happen.
So it looks good for this then.
So far, yeah. I mean, I'm sure though down the line it's going to have those filler episodes. Oh look,
is it 13? Oh, hi Daisy.
I don't remember.
Is it 13 or is it 8?
I don't remember. I gotta double check. I think it's 13. I think it's 13. Okay. I don't think it's 8 at all.
Well, I watched a series last night with my son. It's an HBO original called True Detective. It's season 3. We watched the first 3 episodes. I think it's as good as anything on TV. It's fantastic. I loved the first season that had Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson in it. The second season, not so much. And then, sorry, she's digging at that pillow. It's annoying as hell. So this third season, though, has been really, really good. It's shot so beautifully, and the acting's great in it. It's just, if anyone has HBO or has access to HBO now or something like that, try out True Detective. It's really, really good.
You know what another movie I saw recently was? I finally saw Venom.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah.
I did see Tom Hardy over the weekend, though. I watched the Revenant, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a brutal movie if you've never seen that, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I haven't seen it. No.
It's long.
But yeah, I saw Venom, and I didn't mind it. You know, the only thing I would say, no spoilers or anything like that, although probably sure everybody already saw it already. But what I found, a lot of people were talking about his performance, when Tom Hardy, when he was talking and all that stuff. What I found funny was when the costume was talking. I mean, not the way those two interacted or anything like that. It was just funny when all of a sudden you would hear that voice talk, and it was like, oh, this is hysterical. Yeah. But I didn't mind the movie. I didn't think it was that bad.
It seemed like to me that there were moments in it, and I haven't seen it. I'm just going from previews that I've seen. There's thousands of previews. I know the first time I saw The Matrix, when I was in the theater, he would deliver lines, and they weren't meant to be funny, but everyone in the audience started busting out laughing. And I kind of had feelings about that in that movie as well. Like, they weren't meant to be funny, but it ended up being funny.
Well, I think in this movie it was meant to be funny.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't see how anybody could be writing this.
Well, it's not a complete waste of time. It's worthwhile.
No, it's I wouldn't purchase it. I wouldn't spend $29.99 on it or anything like that. But if it's to watch it maybe on demand for $4.99, I think it's worth it. I mean, if you don't have to own it, I would say it's a movie not bad, not too bad.
So. I'll give it a shot when it comes out.
Yeah. So, I would definitely say check it out.
All right, there's some hot picks from us for movies and TV, I guess.
Yeah, Punisher and Venom. I finally, like I said,
I would go watch True Detective season 3. It's great. Season 1 too. If you haven't seen season 1, is really, really good. It does a lot of time jumping and. It like decades at a time, and it'll go back and forth, but it follows the story right along, and it puts people in awkward situations, and they have to work together. So it's just I enjoyed it, and it's just beautiful the way it's shot. The music's all good. It's really neat.
Okay, all right, yeah. So
It's
There you
good.
go. I remember when the first season came out.
Yeah, I think they rushed the second season because they didn't give the guy long enough to write it. He spent like 5 or 6 years writing season one, and then I think he only wrote season two in like 18 months. So it's been like 3 years since that came out. So um, this is definitely solid. It's great acting too. The lead in it, I think, played Cottonmouth in the Luke Cage show.
Ugh, Luke Cage.
Yeah, but that actor's really good. I like him a lot. He gets a lot, gets a lot of across just by his facial expression.
Okay. All right. So
And
there you go.
oddly enough, Stephen Dorff is in it. And the last time I remember seeing him was in one of the Blade movies.
Yeah, he was in the first Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the first Blade. That talk about a movie that probably jump started all these comic book movies. Blade came
Yeah,
out.
now, I'm trying to think too. Which one was the guy that plays Daryl on Walking Dead? He was in one of the Blade movies.
Yeah, he was in part two.
Part two. Okay, he played like Scuzz or something like that, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked part two. I thought
Yeah.
that was a good one. By
Yeah. I like all of them really. I mean, even the three wasn't horrible. I mean,
well, that's when they introduced Dracula.
yeah. I mean, it was at the time. If you think of the time, that was as good as anything that was out there, superhero wise.
Yeah.
We were talking about that last week. I didn't count those in. Those three movies really are Marvel movies, non-Marvel Studios Marvel movies.
That's right. Blade 1, 2,
So
and
there must
3.
be like 25 movies or more now.
Oh, there's a lot.
I mean, other than the 21 Marvel movies that are going to be out.
Oh, yeah. You have all the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
You have the Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
You have the Wolverine movies.
Yep.
The Blade movies.
Daredevil, Elektra.
That's right. Daredevil and
All the horrible
Elektra.
Punisher movies that got made.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Don't forget the original Captain America.
Yeah. Well, I don't count that, or the Corman Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, they were just really bad.
Yeah. Well,
But that was all we had, though. Like I was saying, like back in the early 90s when you couldn't wait to see a comic book movie, all we had was that Captain America, the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, and the anticipated Fantastic Four by Roger Corman.
I think someone mentioned in the chat like why they invent characters a lot, and it's probably a rights thing. And like say they pay for the main X-Men characters when they brought Morph on that cartoon. They didn't want to pay for like another character to show up, so they just made this character up because then they didn't have to pay Marvel or anyone for it. That's probably why that would happen. But I also do think it's some of the executive producers with notes say, "Oh, let's do this. Let's go this direction with this," and they've never read a comic book in their life. So
yeah, a lot of these guys, they're probably snorting cocaine and all that stuff, thinking that hey, this is a good idea, this is a good one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, it seems like you wrote this while you were on coke.
Yeah. As long as it's good, I guess I don't care. I want my writers on coke, and I want my football players on steroids. If you choose that career path, be all you can be. I don't care. It's for my entertainment.
So in 2 months, we got Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
And in 3 months, we got Avengers. So
yeah, I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. I don't watch any of those things because I don't want to know theories. I don't know.
Emergency awesome.
My brain will start working, and I don't want to figure something out. I don't want to know who's going to die. Because some people will take it from trailers I watch, but then you have these other guys like Emergency Awesome. These guys, they like pay attention to who's doing what in studios and things like that, and they kind of can figure out. Well, this guy was on set this day, and so I hate that.
Has that guy been ever right? Has he been ever right on anything?
No, I don't even understand why he's so popular. Everything on that channel is just kind of slipshot, and I don't know. His delivery's awful, I think. But
it's like I was saying a couple weeks ago. This was like in early November. That guy, Emergency Awesome, had like the Avengers 4 trailer analyzed. I'm like, we were still a month away from that trailer being released. It was all just clickbait. Yeah. And it was just all his theories on what's going to happen. Of course, none of it happened. Yeah. Same thing with those. I mentioned this before, too. The Star Wars movie. Yeah. The Last Jedi had all in my opinion, it had all the ingredients to make a good recipe, to make a good movie. And when I was watching it, I was like, oh, my God. This is terrible.
Yeah. It's like they took really good ingredients for a dinner and just burnt everything.
Yeah, burnt. It really did. And I was like, then this can't be going in this direction. And it did. Yeah. But But anyway, there were so many theories about that. They're like, oh yeah, this is that and this and that, and none of it was true.
Yeah,
Not one
not even
single one
close.
of them. Not
Yeah.
even close.
No, and, The Walking Dead was like that too. To the lead up to it, there's so many things coming on. You know what? That comes back on February 10th, I think. That comes back on the air.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I stopped
I'm
watching
gonna
that
watch
show
the
years
second
ago.
half of this season, and if it doesn't pick up, I'm done with it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna dedicate time to it anymore because it's just so soap opera-ish, and the comic book's even worse.
It's the same stuff over and
Yeah,
over again.
yeah. It's not good. Now, Fear the Walking Dead's gone the opposite direction for me. I like that a lot. I really look forward to that coming back on. They added pretty much all new characters to it, and it's got an edge to it again. And maybe that's the solution that they just need to. I think it's infinitely more interesting when they're on the road and they're going from place to place than when they stay in one place. Because
Yeah.
it's the same story. They stay in one place, everything seems great, and then some other group wants to take what they have, and then everything falls apart and everyone dies, and they move on. That's been both series is what they've been doing now since they've been on. I kind of like that they're just kind of rambling around right now.
That show's been on in the air for over 8 years now. And I
Yeah,
remember I enjoyed the first season. It was short, but I enjoyed it. I thought the
yeah,
second season was really good, and the third. But then after that, I was like, where are they gonna go with this? I
yeah.
mean, it's
For me, it turned once the walkers weren't the main threat. That's where I kind of lost interest in it.
yeah, it's like they're in the background now, and
Yeah.
occasionally they'll pop out and
Yeah,
yeah,
if you're
that
not careful, you get you get
eat.
killed by them. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's the everyday people you got to worry about. And I really hope, and maybe I'm wrong, but I would think if there was an apocalypse like that, I really hope everyone doesn't turn into a sociopath like appears to be on that show. Maybe they figure that's all who's going to live if there's something like that happens.
yeah. But that's one of the reasons why I like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
I mean, you were really the main threat were the zombies,
yeah.
but there was that smaller threat inside the home.
Yeah.
That, with people quarreling and all that stuff. But
I
eventually,
think too in the original Night of the Living Dead, fear was almost a character.
yes,
People were they were just terrified. And I mean, that scene with the little girl in the basement where she attacks her mom. And sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen that movie. It's 50 years old.
yeah,
But that where the mom she can't kill the kid and she comes towards her, and that's just gut wrenching because you put yourself in that situation. You're like, it's your kid, and yeah, she's kind of gross looking, but she still looks like a kid. On
yeah.
Walking Dead, I always told my kids, if you look like that and you're coming at me, you're going to get the scissors in the head. Sorry. You're obviously not coming back from that.
I mean, sometimes though, I've found though, even when I liked watching The Walking Dead, the drama was a little too much.
Yeah.
And sometimes to me, I'm not saying this is, but it came off a little too contrived.
Yes.
Like
I agree.
It came off like we so desperately want you to feel for this character. I'm like, well,
it felt forced.
Yeah. It was like, come on, this is, it's a little too heavy here.
And going way back to Lost, say the first season of that, I think the main reason the first season was so much better than the second season of that show was because, for the large part, those people were very famous around that show. I mean, Matthew Fox was famous, and a couple other people had done some things, but for the most part, they weren't very famous. By the second season, I think halfway through, and I think it was Evangeline Lilly said this, by the second season, halfway through, they started seeing all this stuff about them. And they realized, oh my God, I'm a celebrity. People know who I am. And the show changes after that. They're different. The characters are different from that point on. And I saw that in Walking Dead. It's the same type of thing. Most of my favorite shows, that usually ends up happening. And it's sad because it's so hard for something to be standards to be that good for that long. And we all want that. We just like if Endgame isn't the best movie we've ever seen, we're all going to be super pissed. Figure how much time we all have invested in that.
Well, I think
20 movies up to that point. How many hours?
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think that they had this planned out, obviously, for a long time. I think it's going to be good, but we shall see. We'll save it for April. Was it coming out the end of April?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see then. And then there's plenty of other things to look forward to, like with Spider-Man and where they're going to go with the next phase and all that stuff. I mean, I have an idea where they're
going to be in it, and it could go any number of directions. I do think we're going to get a lot of Fantastic Four stuff in the coming years, which is exciting.
It is. And
The
X-Men.
stuff, I'm okay if they don't make another X movie for 2 years, 3 years. I'm okay with that. I think a cooling off period for that series would be great, and start all over again, and maybe do it right this time.
Yeah, I mean, with X-Men Apocalypse,
Yeah,
I remember like they had Jubilee in it, and one of and Jubilee in the early '80s.
yeah,
And I think one of the complaints was, wait a minute, Jubilee was in X-Men 2 when it
yeah.
took place in the early 2000s. It doesn't make sense. And they're making a big deal. They want to have her in. Okay, fine. But then if you took the character out, if you took Jubilee out of that movie, it didn't make a difference. It was like she was just there.
Yeah.
It made no sense. I mean, I can understand if they wanted her to be a pivotal part of the
Yeah.
plot. Like we want to make sure that Jubilee's a. It wasn't. You just take her out.
Because if you remember when she came on in the comic book, she was kind of Logan's ward. You know, he kind of looked after her and kind of taught her how to be a hero and stuff like that. But none of that existed in the movie. So, and
she was
when are they going to release that? Is that never going to get released?
I don't know. I heard, this is just, once again, rumors.
New Mutants, that's like gone. You don't hear anything about
a lot
that.
of people saying that, a lot of these channels, that whenever I would catch them, that or news that X-Men Dark Phoenix it's not going to be that good. I could see it not being good. I mean, if Apocalypse wasn't that good, it was like it just made no sense. This is supposed to be such the most badass mutant, and he was defeated like within 2 days of him showing up. It makes no sense.
No, I know.
I mean, that's why you feel that Thanos is important, because
he's been around for 10 years.
It took years, and what he was able to do in the last movie. I mean, my God, you would think that Apocalypse would have that sort of clout to be really dangerous, but he wasn't.
I think that's why too that Doctor Doom didn't work in any of the Fantastic Four movies.
Well,
I mean, he'd show up and get defeated within a half hour.
Well, that's the thing, and they also screwed up his origin, I think, which also plays a part of it. Like we had to put everybody together in all those movies.
Yeah, they always do that. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like they had it in the first two, and then the remake, like their origin was also part of his origin, which you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's not that way in the comic, but you just didn't have to throw him in there to show him how he got his powers or whatever. Yeah,
Spider-Man 3 failed ultimately because they just tried to cram too much in.
Oh yeah, the Sandman, which I thought was pretty good. The Sandman, if they should have just kept it the Sandman. Then they shoehorned in Venom, which was.
Oh, and then they had like
horribly miscast.
Goblin, yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, he was like some sort of like, what do you call him, the Night Surfer or whatever the hell he was.
I know. Last night when I was, my son was here and we watched True Detective, and then when we turned it off, Spider-Man 2 was on, with Jamie Foxx in it, and I watched like 2 minutes of it, and it was like, this is garbage.
They just made that movie for. I think that series, they were just making those movies to keep the license.
Yeah,
and you could tell.
Yeah, it was just throwaway garbage. They wasted storylines, and it's just too bad. But anyway.
And they were going on and on.
Yeah.
About that Sinister Six and the whole disappearance of Peter's parents. Got to a point like, who cares?
Yeah, I didn't care. I was But anyway, so have you upgraded anything? Are you gonna upgrade? I know that's a big topic. I don't know about the rest of you out there that collect, but Anthony and I and Nick and John, we often talk about upgrading, and it's hard for me sometimes because some books you get, there's I'm big with story and what a book means and when I got it. I always remember when I got it, who I got it from, how I got it, what I was doing at the time. And for me, that's the hardest part of upgrading. It's not, I do like a nicer book. But I don't know about you, but that for me is the hardest part. I mean, of course, there's the money end of it, but giving up that other book, because oftentimes you have to sell that book to get to the next one.
There's a couple of books that I will not upgrade. Maybe they don't need to be upgraded, but I think they fit into that category you're just mentioning, that they're so rich in history for me, like my Amazing Spider-Man 300. I remember the date in which I got it. the joy I felt when I finally got it and all that stuff. I don't think I could
Uh-oh.
actually. What's
I
wrong?
think we're losing Anthony.
What's that?
You're coming in and out.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now better?
I can much better.
Okay. I don't think I could get rid of that particular copy. I wouldn't mind getting a better grade. I mean, I think I have a 7.580. I wouldn't mind getting like a 9.4, but I wouldn't sell the one I have
Okay.
for that. And another book that I don't think I could get rid of is my Amazing Spider-Man 129. I mean, it's a pretty high grade to begin with, but
Yeah.
you know.
But there's a good story tied to that, you know. So
Of course.
yeah.
But other books I've gotten rid of, like other books, I'm like, yeah, I got this then, but you know, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for it to go.
Yeah. No, and I have some books like anything like sure that I bought off of eBay isn't that big a deal. So if you upgrade it, you upgrade it. But ones that I bought from people, you know, I'm thinking of like my Fantastic Four one that I got from Scott. That just says a special the way that whole thing came about, and it, you know, that it helped him get his Amazing Fantasy 15 is really cool. So that's just a book I'll keep.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy it as an investment. I bought it because I loved that was my Grail book, and it's great that it'll appreciate, and someone else will be able to enjoy, I guess, the money end of it someday if they part with it. But yeah, I think that for me is the hardest part of upgrading, and a lot of times too is, you know, you could have a 2.0 and maybe you see a 2.0 that they're both the same grade, but we know grades are, you know, isn't the end all. There's some books I take a 1.5 over a 2.0. It's just a nicer looking book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, that is true. That is true. I mean, like one book, like my X-Men 1, I had a 3.0, my original copy. Yeah. Well, then I sold it to put toward my Amazing Fantasy 15, but then an opportunity presented itself to get another 3.0. Yeah. But that 3.0 was way better looking than the one I had.
Well, yeah, you know, a great example is like your Amazing Fantasy 15. It's the nicest 2.0 I've ever seen. So if you were to turn that loose to ever find another one like that again, you may not. I mean, Nick talks a lot about some of the books that he's had slabbed that he turned loose that, you know, he had a series on it that he just, because of the page quality, some of them were white. There are Silver Age books that he had white pages, which is rare. And you'll never find one again like that. I think the book that he talks about is Amazing Spider-Man 101, I think was the one. Where he had he's never seen the glove centered or as nice a copy as that book. I know John's talk because John sold a lot of his stuff off, that especially the stuff he got from the Koch warehouse. They were pristine. They were never open. They were beautiful books. So I think that I think that comes into it for a lot of us.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's true, though. I remember Nick was saying something about 2.0s. You know, sometimes it's hard to find a nice-looking 2.0.
Yeah.
Usually when you get to the 2.5s.
It almost seems oxymoron. Like, it's like jumbo shrimp. You say a nice-looking 2.0. It's like, what?
Yeah. But it's true, though. It's hard to find. Like you're saying with the Amazing Fantasy, it's pretty nice for a 2.0. It would be hard to find another 2.0 again like that.
Yeah.
And I certainly wouldn't want to pay for that again.
Yeah. And it's funny to me because, like, when I'm at shows and stuff, there's people they don't like. I'll see them asked to see a book they'll have pulled down off the you know, the wall behind the dealer, and it's say a 6.0. They don't even look at the book. I see they look right at the number, and then they start immediately going back and forth with the guy negotiating. It's like, you don't want to look at it. You didn't even turn it over. I mean, it could have, you know, big, you know, coffee stain on the back cover or missing half of the back cover, you know,
or rusted staples. You see them from back.
Yeah. Somebody's coming home, so my dogs are going to bark here. Sorry, everybody. They're doing their job. That's what they're supposed to do.
What is your next show?
You mean comic show? Or the Flower City Comic Con, I think, is in April.
Oh, okay. So it's still a couple months away.
Yeah, and Mike and I are going back and forth. He might get a table on it. I don't know. The other show that he did is more really. There's a lot more sci-fi. There's a lot more role-playing, cosplay going on at the Rock Con. It's called. It's in September, and they usually have pretty, you know, guests you hear of if you watch sci-fi TV and movies. and he set up there. He did okay. He did better at the little show that we did at that one dealer in the parking lot. So we'll see. We might actually just do a show at my shop even.
Oh wow, okay.
So you know, we've talked to a few other guys that don't have stores, but they do set up sometimes. One of them's strictly EC. You would love this guy. He's a bricklayer and he collects EC and Atlas pre-code horror. But he sets up his shows, so he'd probably set up, and then Mike would, and then I would, and then probably one other guy, and then a lot of the old time dealers will come in, and it would just kind of almost be like a private show, I guess. So I don't know. We're still kicking around the idea. I think it would be fun. I know, you know, some comic shops used to have like lounges in them, and they're not around anymore. But I remember people openly trading at shops, and the guys seemed okay with it. You know, they had like a coffee machine and stuff like that set up, and people would just hang out. And you don't have that anymore. And it's a money thing, and some of these dealers are weird. You know, they feel like anything that happens under the roof, it's like it's a casino. They should get a cut or something, I guess. But typically, you have that kind of business going on at your place, you're going to sell more stuff. The longer, it's just like gambling. The longer you stay in the casino, the more money you spend. The longer they spend in the store, the more money they're going to spend. So a lot of these guys just run in, they grab their pool list, and they're out the door. Or these days, half their pool list, and they screw the dealer with the other half. They don't want. Yeah, I'll get the rest of that next week, and then they never come back again.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
I would not want to be a shop owner.
No, I couldn't do it. Yeah. I couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with some of the stuff. Like, I know my guy, he deals with a lot of BS from situations like you just mentioned, or pure flippers coming in. And thinking that, you know, they could buy all this stuff, and he's going to give them deals on everything so they could go flip it and make money. And I know that bothers him. I'm sure it bothers a lot of people.
Well, yeah, it's their livelihood. They're not. It's not a charity. So, but you know, that all being said, I'm trying to think. The last time I was at a comic shop was before Thanksgiving.
I was there today. I was at my local my local shop today. I mean, I go usually every 2 weeks because I don't have a big pull list. I have like I get Batman and Detective Comics, and if I see like one of those True Believers that I want, I'll pick it up. That's it. You know, I don't buy much new stuff at all. So.
Yeah, I live vicariously through the guys on YouTube. You know, Sleepy Reader, he does a great job with it. I watch his things. He seems to be into a lot of the same books that I would read, not so much the hero stuff. He doesn't do really much anything with Marvel. So I don't know if there's a lot of people out there that do Marvel. There was a young kid I was watching for a little while. I don't remember his name. Could have been Gino or something like that. I don't know if his channel's still on even, but he seemed to review almost everything. But yeah, there's probably channels out there that do that. I just I don't watch them so much. Yeah. It does seem like overall, so the speculation stuff is done. I don't know if you feel that way too, but
what was it? What?
The speculation stuff seems to have done on YouTube. Yeah. Where you had, I mean, whole channels and groups where that's all they were consumed with. You know, what's the next hot book to get and get it and get it on eBay or slab it. And I mean, their activity is always going to be there, but it seems like it's less. I don't know if it's just burnt out. There's less interest in it, or
from what I've seen, I think we might even talked about. I think we might have talked about this last week. The latest craze is Hydro Man.
Thing right now.
Yeah, you were doing the same thing.
I look at the chat right now. Mine has a circle going on it, so I don't know. Maybe my internet connection being throttled right now. I'm on Spectrum.
What I said was one of the big spec books that's been going crazy is the first Hydro Man. Yeah. And I just don't get it. I just don't.
The other night.
What's that?
This week.
Yeah, and I just don't get it because I mean. Okay, if it is the Hydro Man, what's going to happen after the movie? Exactly. So why within 6 months? So why are you spending such? I mean, it's not like it's going for big money. Yeah. I hope it's not, but it's going for more than what it was. If
it's going for more than $50, it's too much.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it is. I mean, my guess is he's going to be in the movie for 5 minutes.
I don't even know if that's the Hydro Man.
Yeah, I don't either. You're right. It could just be an illusion.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should sell mine. It's
Yeah. Yeah, if you get $5, you don't care about it. Yeah,
yeah.
let it go.
And then after the movie, I'll get it for $10 again.
Yeah, buy back the same copy. Keep track of the guy and email him.
He's like trying to sell us.
Hey, remember I sold you that for $300? I'll give you $20 for it.
Sold. I gotta get my car fixed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did see there was a guy today. I'm trying to think what book it was. I looked at. And he had the weirdest set of stuff for sale. It was like a watch.
Mhm.
The comic I looked at, I want to say it was a Hulk one, but I'm not sure. And then like a Range Rover, and like it was like the guy was liquidating everything he owned. It was such a weird array of stuff to be selling on eBay all at the same time.
Yeah.
Some rare, what the heck was some antique that I've never heard of, and apparently this is some good thing to have. So it was bizarre. I just asked him a few questions about it, and he came back with, I didn't even ask him about the price, and he's like, I'm not taking any offers. My price is firm. I'm like, I didn't ask. I just had a couple questions about the book.
And I'm not giving you any offers.
No. I mean, a raw book's a raw book. I need to know some stuff about it. If I'm paying you, I'm going to give you thousands of dollars for something, I want to know a little bit about
But
it.
that was the Hulk one.
I don't know if it was Hulk one. I'm trying to remember. It was the Silver Age book.
Okay.
But that's one of the books I'm after. I want Tales of Suspense 39.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah. That book, I don't know. I think I have to wait till the movie's over.
Which isn't too long.
No, and it's just climbed so much. And it's a book I want, and I understand a lot of people don't. Maybe Iron Man is not their thing. But as a kid growing up, that was one of my favorite characters.
Well, think of it this way, Patrick.
Yeah.
Iron Man, where the book is now, like a 3.0 range, 4.0 range. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the 5,000, 6,000 range for like a 4.0.
Probably for 4.0, yeah. Yeah, 3.0 is still hovering around probably 30.
And that was after 10 years of movies.
I know.
And that's how long it took just to get to that point. It's not, what I'm trying to say is, in the scheme of things, it's not a whole lot.
No.
Because especially after these movies, I think it's going to take a little bit of a dip.
I would think so, yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to do a nosedive or anything, but I would say it's going to take a little bit of a dip. So I don't see why waiting a little while longer. And that's why I plan to get Iron Man 55 again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it now.
No, wait till after. And I would like a X-Men 1 as well. But, again, I'm not going to pay crazy money for it. I like it. I'd like to have one. Giant size, actually, I'd like to get ahead of that. So
that's what I feel about the Amazing Spider-Man 1. I mean, that's on my list, but everything else on that list, I'd rather get before that.
Yeah,
I just don't feel like dropping all that money on just that one book when there are so many other books on that list that I kind of like more. And plus, I have the fantasy already. I mean, it doesn't make any, it's Amazing Fantasy trumps ASM 1 all day, every day.
I feel that way too. There's a handful of Fantastic Four books that I want, but they just really been getting out of limits. I mean, I have 48, 49, 50. I have most of the big ones. I have one. I'd like 3. I've always loved that cover. It's when they got their costumes and they set up the extra building. I just think it's a really cool issue to have.
What about 4 and 5?
Not as much. No. Yeah, I'm not a Submariner fan. I don't care for him. I don't like the character. Dr. Doom, I'm okay with. I just think that's at a price point that more than I'd ever want to spend on it. So.
Yeah, that book has gotten crazy. Oh, now you're drinking water?
Yeah.
Yeah, that book has definitely gotten crazy.
If I had a beer near me, I'd drink it.
I know you would. But yeah, those have gotten crazy. You're right, though. Yeah. The 4.
And if that's your favorite character, I get it. Similarly to there's some Avengers books that I still want to get. I mean, I know 1 is not extremely significant because those characters all appeared before that book. I still want it. I still want that book. I already have 9 Wonder Man. I have 57. I have Ultron, 54, 55, 56, all those. I think I would still like to get Avengers 8. I like Kang. I think that's a fun book to have. but other than that, I mostly have everything that I want in the
Mhm.
Avengers books. Um,
Mm.
and I've never been a huge Spider-Man collector, so a 129 would be cool only because as a kid I remember always having that. I have a copy of it. It's coverless. Um, very well loved. We read that book a lot, and I remember reading it because I was always fascinated by the Jackal character more than the Punisher, and that gets left behind because that was his first appearance too. So.
Sure,
Uh,
that's sometimes people forget about
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah, and back in the day, back then, Jacko was the main driver of the story. He hired the Punisher, so
that's
um,
right.
that character obviously has gone on in the whole clone thing, and it
You
really
left a
made
bad
that guy.
taste in a lot of people's mouths.
They kind of made that guy super creepy, where he was like cloning Gwen Stacy just so he could, mate with her, they turned the guy into even more than weird into a creep. So
That's Professor Warren,
yes,
and
yeah.
he made his first appearance in 31, along
Oh,
with Gwen Stacy and
yeah.
Harry Osborn.
But he wasn't the Jackal till
No,
129, right?
no, right, absolutely right, correct. You didn't find out he was the Jackal until I think 149.
Yeah.
I
Okay, that
think
makes sense. Yeah, that's with
yeah,
the
when
two Spider-Man on the cover, right?
yeah, if that speak about crazy spec book back in 1994, people were
Oh
going
yeah.
crazy over it.
It was funny. That cover always irritated me because the blues on the Spider-Man were slightly different.
Oh, I can't tell. I'm colorblind.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he could have been wearing green for all I know.
Yeah. I have that. I have that book, and it was okay. I liked. I think it was which is the cover. I think it's 50, where he's like in the sewer and the water's all coming down on his back.
No, that's not 50. That's the
No,
50's the
150. I
Kingpin.
mean, I'm sorry, 150.
That's a good question. Maybe
Yeah.
that I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite Spider-Man covers. It's a great cover. I still have my original copy.
Well,
I
101
got
is
another
one of my
copy.
favorites.
Which one is?
101 is one of
Oh
my
yeah,
favorites.
101's a great.
That's a
Yeah,
great
I
cover.
actually like the cover of 102 better.
Oh, the one where
Swinging, Spider-Man swinging. You see all of his arms. I mean, you can
uh,
kind of see him in 101, but Morbius is definitely the key to that.
let me pull it off my comic book wall.
All right.
There you go. I remember I purchased this a couple years before the hype for Morbius.
Yeah. Doc just checked in. 151. He's right.
151. Okay.
Spider-Man 151. It's one of my favorite covers. If you've never seen that book, that's a great book just to buy, just for the cover. You can probably get it for less than $15 in really nice shape.
There's another one, everybody.
Oh yeah,
First, Hammerhead.
yeah.
All he has to do is be rumored to be in the next movie, and boom.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll show up.
You never know.
I mean, he has so many characters that could show up. Tombstone, and I'm sure Prowler's going to start creeping up there because they kind of alluded to that character. What's his name? Glover. He was the guy that he stuck his hand to the hood of the car.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that they're using Mysterio.
Yeah.
Because that's a character you would never think they would, put in the movie.
No.
Excuse me.
And if I remember right, Mysterio is the one that tricked Wolverine into killing all the X-Men, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know why people, never gave Mysterio enough credit. I thought he was a pretty cool character. I get people couldn't take him seriously because of the thing on his head. Well,
Fishbowl. Yeah.
Well, take a look at all the other characters. I mean,
Yeah,
you got a guy walking around with a goblin mask.
Dave apparently said the Polish people, when they hear the word fishbowl, get excited because it means there's some kind of raffle going on.
Oh, jeez.
We're not selling 50-50 raffle tickets. Sorry, Dave.
I remember one of the most memorable Spider-Man books I read was Spider-Man Unlimited 4. It's where Mysterio is fighting Spider-Man, all that stuff. And I just loved it. I was so glued to it, page by
But
page.
that turns out, too, if I remember right, isn't that it's Mysterio from the 616 has figured out a way to go to the Ultimate Universe?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's what that is, yeah.
But I remember at the end of that book, Spider-Man Unlimited number 4, just Spider-Man just got pulled Mysterio close to him and just like decked him right in the fishbowl and just broke it. And you see just Mysterio laying there with like smoke coming out of it and all that stuff. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, there's been what, 2 or 3 Mysterios?
Yeah, there's been I think about 3 of them. Yeah, the first one was supposed to have died of cancer or whatever the hell it was. I'm like, nah. But then he's just back.
Yeah.
I think Quentin Beck is the Mysterio. That's
It's too cool.
But we're at 7:59.
I know, right on cue. So
Yeah.
what else did we talk about? Everything? Did we chit chat enough for everyone?
I think we did.
Anyone else jump in here that we missed? It looks like we've been steady with about 25 people the whole time. So
not bad. Next week now, you want to talk a little bit about next week before we go?
Sure. Yeah.
Next week, we're probably going to have a conversation on Golden Age, pre-code horror, all that stuff, and among other things too.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about that.
Some of you out there be watching your email because we'll be contacting you. What Anthony and I would like to do, since we have some open space here, just with the two of us, we thought we could pull in people that were kind of subject matter experts on things and bring them in. Depending on what it is, like I say, it's Golden Age. We could pull someone in that knows more about that than us. It wouldn't be hard to know more than that than me. I don't know much about Golden Age. Probably even less on pre-code horror.
Believe it or not, I mean, the only pre-code horror I really know about is EC. Yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with some other stuff, but there's so much more out there that I had no idea even existed.
Yeah, I usually, if I don't know something, I just message Mike because he's an encyclopedia with that stuff. So it's just a couple clicks away. I'll see, maybe I coerce him into coming on.
But that's what some of the things we're gonna be talking about next week. So we're all looking forward to that.
Yeah. And anyone that's also still worried about Nick, Anthony and I have been in contact with him. He's doing well. He's doing better. I don't know if any of you saw he dropped another whole series again. He's definitely doing a Netflix thing where he drops the whole series. This one was what is it? It's called "Explain This to Me," or what's that? I'm bungling it.
Explain This to Me.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Deep Dive was last week, but this was "Explain This to Me," and they are pretty funny. That one day he brought up, I watched, I think it was today, was that grading company I never heard of before, where it's like 1 out of 100. And they have this tamper resistant something or other and patent pending. It was a really funny video. It was very sarcastic and satirical the way he delivered it, so it was pretty funny. Yeah.
But so excellent.
All right. Well, everybody, again, if you have questions, either contact Anthony and I and let us know if there's something you want us to bring up and talk about. There's always an endless supply in this hobby of stuff to talk about. I am a broken record as far as saying I'm going to get more videos out there, but I do endeavor to do that. More and more get freed up all the time. This weekend I went through my personal collection, and I am going to start culling out stuff that I plan to get rid of that if I haven't looked at it in years, I'm going to sell it. So that's going to happen. And then I'll also have more money to buy new stuff that I can show all of you. There are a few things that I'm working on getting, so we'll see how that goes. And of course, like I said before, I know we have 3 boxes coming back right now. So that'll be 3 more videos. Mike and I will do unboxings. I think we're going to do at least 1 live. We might do more than that live. So that's where we're headed. And Anthony, just keep an eye out on his channel. He's always got tons of stuff out there. If we missed you saying hello, I'm sorry. Oh, there's Errol.
Oh, hey, Errol.
Down under.
Errol.
Errol, send some of your down under questions. Those usually were good icebreakers. All right. Well, it looks like everyone's still on. Anything else from you, Anthony?
Nope. But another good show today.
Yeah, and everyone keep up the content. I've really enjoyed it lately. The stuff that's out there has been enjoyable for me. I tend to drift away from the money aspect of the hobby, and I'm drawn to other stuff. So Silver Age Dave is back. If everyone's seen, he's been doing a lot of videos lately. I've watched Alan After Comics. He's had some real fun stuff. He had a sticker card video today that was great, and I know a lot of you grew up on the 90s cards.
Yes, I did.
Got into comics because of those 90s cards. So that's a fun video if you haven't seen that. And I guess just check out everybody.
Be good, everybody.
Until next time. We should be on next Wednesday. Thanks for enjoying Taco Tuesday with us, and we'll see y'all later. Good night, everyone.
Take care.